Today, I'm going to show you how to add a voice thread to your Blackboard Ultra course. There are a few ways to do this, and really the different methods of adding a voice thread to the course is going to depend on what you want your students to do with that voice thread. In some cases, they're just going to be watching a voice thread, almost like a video. That's probably the simplest way to add a voice thread to your course. The other methods involve connecting a voice thread assignment to your gradebook. So that would be a student making their own voice threads, or watching or commenting on someone else's voice thread, and giving them points for that and due dates, all of that. It's going to be a little more complicated, but it's still very easy to do within Ultra. And it's two different pathways to do that. So we're going to start with just watching a voice thread. How would we add a voice thread, almost like a video, to our course? The first thing we want to do is actually go through MyUSI to get to our voice thread account. So I'm going to start with the MyUSI page. I actually have a shortcut to VoiceThread, but if you don't see that, you can always search for any tool that you're looking for on MyUSI. Here it is up top. So I'm going to click on that. It's going to take me through the Okta portal. So it would have me sign into my USI account if I hadn't already. And then I'm going to see every voice thread I have ever owned, which can be overwhelming at first. There is a search bar if you need to go and find an older voice thread that you made, or perhaps you're making a new one. Something that isn't created yet, you can always do the plus button to create a new voice thread from here. But you want to make sure that it's you and you're signed in through MyUSI. You have your little account icon up there so that you're making something that belongs to you forever. So let's say I want to share my Pasta 401 voice thread down here. I can click it to play, and I can see all of the content on here, see the comments that I left. Sometimes there might be student comments on here, so be wary of that. But I know this is one that I made, and I'm going to go up to the three dots. And intuitively, the option that we want is actually share. So if we go to the share pop-up menu, it's going to show any people who currently have access to the voice thread. In this case, it's an old class that I was in that the voice thread was shared with. It's in a couple of different my Blackboard shells, and of course, it's shared with me, the owner. But if I want to add it to a new course, all I have to do is make sure the link permissions are set to what I want them to be. So in this case, since I am sharing it, I don't want it to be private. I have to flip off of private. In this case, I just want the students to watch it and not be able to comment on it. So I'm going to do anyone with link can view. And then I'm going to copy the share link. Now that link is in my clipboard, which means I can paste it anywhere that I want to. I could just paste it in an empty tab, right? If I open a new tab, hit paste, it is going to open up that voice thread. Bing, almost like a YouTube video. That would happen for anybody who had the link. But if I go back to my test course here, and we want to add the voice thread within a document in Blackboard Ultra, I'm going to make a blank document to show you this. So here I'm just creating a document, which is the blank canvas for Ultra. I'll say this is our voice thread test zone. And I can do it right from here. So I'm looking at all my options. What we want is the content option. It's going to pop out. It's going to look like a text editor, something you're familiar with. You could write anything or type anything like title here for your voice thread. You can format this text. But what we want, of course, is to embed the voice thread within this context. So we're going to go to this plus button surrounded by a circle. It says insert content. It's going to give us a drop-down menu. There's a couple of different options here, but we want to embed media. It's going to have a pop-up menu. It's going to say media URL, which we have. We just copied it from our share menu. So I can paste this in with Control-V, or you can right-click and hit paste. We see the voice thread link there, and when I hit insert, it's not going to look like a link. It's going to look like a good old-fashioned voice thread, and we can rescale this. We can make it bigger so it's easier to see. When I save this, I now, right in line as a student, can click and watch all of this content. I can also open it in a new size tab, and that's going to take me right to this page. So pretty intuitive. It's really nice. Again, if his content is just something that they're watching, something that's optional. There's no accountability here necessarily for students, but this is a great way to just integrate it into your course. On the flip side, let's say we don't want to see this whole thing as a big embedded visible thing. We want them to click through a link to get to that voice thread. We could do that a couple of different ways. We can literally just paste in the voice thread link and use the link feature. Got selected. use the link feature in the content editor and just have a literal text link. It's always advised that you actually use verbiage of what the link goes to instead of the URL itself. So something like Pasta 401 lecture. I would select that text and I would link to my VoiceThread. So that's going to work just fine. Students would just click on it and it would open a new tab. Same old, right? Different way, the same way. There's lots of different ways to skin a cat, right? Is the saying. There is theoretically another way. That is going to be through what's called the content market. So the only time we want to use the content market is if we want to set up the VoiceThread as an assignment. We use the content market to link any third-party tool with Blackboard. So if the two tools have to talk to each other, like say we want a grade from VoiceThread to put into the Blackboard gradebook, we want to use the content market. Where the heck is the content market? Well, let me show you. I'm going to back out of this. Back out. And I'm going to add a new item here. So all of that was happening inside of a document. If I'm using the content market, I should really leave it outside of any documents. It should be a freestanding link on its own. Use the plus sign here. And you can see instead of create content, instead of copying anything, I'm actually going to go down to this little shopping cart. It says content market. When I pop it open, I'm going to see all of USI's LTI integrations. So this is every third-party tool that's used at USI in alphabetical order. So VoiceThread is hiding at the very bottom of the page here. I'm going to click on VoiceThread. And first it's going to ask me to launch. Totally normal. We do want to launch this. This is just Blackboard saying you're basically stepping into a different person's tool. This is not Blackboard anymore, technically. This is VoiceThread. And when we launch it, we are going to see a couple of different options. Now here are the four main options you can actually use VoiceThread for. The two most important ones are up top. An individual VoiceThread would just display a single VoiceThread, which is essentially what we were just doing with that media link. It's just a harder way to do the exact same thing. But what we didn't have an option for earlier was the assignment builder. So the assignment builder is where you're going to basically walk through step-by-step, setting up your assignment settings, connecting in a pre-existing VoiceThread as the content for, or the basis of, where your students will click in to view and comment, or even create their own VoiceThread and get points for it. So I'm going to briefly step through the assignment builder UI. So I clicked into it. There are a couple of different kinds of assignments. There is a create assignment where students are literally making their own VoiceThread, a comment where they're just commenting on a pre-existing VoiceThread, or just watch, where students have to get to the end of the watch bar and we'll get a set of points for that. Let's do create. It's theoretically the most complicated, but it's still not, it's pretty understandable. You may have to scroll down a little bit to get to the yellow continue button. In this case, I see it, so I'm going to hit continue. It's going to give you all sorts of options. It's important to go through these, especially if you're in a class with different requirements. Do you want people to be able to record themselves using their mics? You got to make sure that's turned on. Is there any minimum number of assignment requirements, like, make 3 comments? You can add that here. One of the most important things and most frequently asked about features in VoiceThread is the student gallery. The student gallery, formerly known as a thread box, is a student's opportunity to see each other's submissions, so their peers' submissions. So if I'm a student and I submit a VoiceThread that I created, then everyone else in the class can look at it too, comment on it as well, etc. So let's say we want that turned on. I'm going to hit continue. This is all from an instructor's point of view. I would give my assignment a name, Pasta 401, for example. Instructions will go here. You can ignore the URL example. You can have a submission message if you like. Due dates are important, of course. A start date would reveal or let students access the assignment after a certain date. And then a close date, similarly, would disallow students from accessing the assignment after a given date. Resubmission, point value is going to be important too if you need it to be. Say this is worth 10 points. This point value or a complete, incomplete, anything that's set up here will be connected to your Blackboard gradebook, so keep that in mind. And once we hit publish, it's going to think about it for a second. It's going to load. It's going to say success, hopefully. Fantastic. And now, right where we hit the initial plus button, that purple line, we see a little VoiceThread icon and the title of our assignment. You can also see the due date. And then within Blackboard's framework, we can still hide this item from students. So if I didn't want them to see the assignment yet, I could still visibly hide it. But whenever a student clicks into this link, they are also going to see launching the assignment. So let's launch it. And now they're going to see our instructions. They're going to be able to open the student gallery, which is where no one submitted anything to this fake assignment. But if they open the student gallery, they'd see a big grid of all the other student submissions. They were able to see their grades here. And as an instructor, you can see all of the ungraded work and the graded work. And that's all going to be connected to your gradebook seamlessly. So again, 3 different main options for enabling a VoiceThread in your course. The easiest way, if you just want them to watch something, would be this embedded version or just even adding the link, easy peasy. If you want it to be integrated with the gradebook or talk to Blackboard more, with a lot more connection, you can use what's called an LTI, which is just using that content market, clicking through the shopping cart, finding VoiceThread, using the assignment builder, or even just displaying a VoiceThread. And you'll get this nifty VT icon, and students can click in and watch all your content. So hopefully that's helpful to you. If you have any questions, as always, you can reach out to Online Adult Learning about VoiceThread. We can help you set up an appointment with us or give you an answer right away as soon as possible. So thanks.